Wonderful women, welcome back to Nourish by Claudia. Welcome back to my channel. Today we have a conversation that is very near and dear to my heart, which is the 5 life-changing things that you can do when you're trying to get your period back. And you may think that you have heard it all, that you have done it all, but stick till the end because this video can be really life-changing for you. It doesn't matter where you are in your recovery journey. Maybe you're just starting out. Maybe you're like in the thick of it, or maybe you have been waiting for your period for like a couple of months. You've been getting all the signs, all the symptoms, and still nothing is happening. So just make sure that you watch this video till the end. And just a couple of things that I would like to say beforehand. If you feel that you have been stuck for quite a long time and you really would like to get the guidance and support that you've been craving and looking for, there are a couple of things that you can do. First of all, you can watch the replay of my free masterclass. This is how you get the period back in 3 months, and I'm going to pop the link below. Otherwise, we are taking just one more woman until the end of the year. So if you're watching this video in 2024, it's the end of November now. So just make sure that you book in a call with me as soon as possible, because then we are not going to enroll anyone else in the period comeback protocol until mid-January, Feb. So if you have been on the fence for quite a while, if you really want to work on your recovery journey, just make sure that you do so, because we are going to cover everything and anything that you can think of. So we're going to have a look at your food diary, and we're going to give you tips and tricks on how to implement your food intake. We're going to discuss your exercise routine, your mindset, blood work, ultrasound. We're going to have continuous conversations every single week. You're going to get the support of a support coach, of a nutritionist, of myself, which is nutrition and dietetic clinician, and a mindset coach. So honestly, this is a life-changing program. I've seen women going from 20 years without a period to getting pregnant in 3 months, and sometimes in 2 years. I have a success rate at this point of 89%, which is absolutely incredible. And it's something that is still very affordable, once again, until the end of the year. We are going through a revamp, and when next year comes along, things are going to change. And that's also going to include the investment to join me and my team. So if you have been thinking and dwelling on it for quite a while, this is it. This is your goal of actually making it happen. But for today, we're going to discuss the 5 life-changing tips that really can allow you to look at your recovery journey in a completely different way. And what I normally say to all my clients, and I know that I sound like a broken record sometimes because I've shared this in many of my videos before, hypothalamic amenorrhea happens for you. It doesn't happen to you, which means that it's your opportunity to unpack your life, to unpack what is going on. Maybe you have been living in burnout and you have been feeling bored and tired, and you have been doing the same things day in and day out, always feeling quite unmotivated and with lack of energy, with lack of that mojo that you had when you're a little child or when you were a teenager. Maybe you have been in a relationship with no sex drive, no intimacy, or maybe you have been trying for a baby for a long period of time, or maybe you just want to bake a cake and have it too, instead of simply preparing it for someone else. And sometimes we just shovel all these things under a rug until we are faced with the real problem. And for many of you, not having a period is the real problem. So now you have this opportunity of actually looking at your life in general and see, okay, which changes do I need to make in order to get my period back? But not only that, which changes do I need to make to actually modify my way of living so that I can thrive, so that I can grow, so I can be there for the people that I love, and more than anything, so that you can be there for yourself. So what are these 5 life-changing things that you can do when trying to get your period back? First of all, is focus on gratitude. When I know that you heard it before, so please don't roll your eyes, don't change the video yet, because unless you try it, you are not gonna really experience what it means to be in a state of gratitude. We tend to experience scarcity more often than not. That's what our brain does in default, because our brain is trying to protect us from danger. So our brain doesn't want to make us think that the world is a wonderful place, because it's not going to be very helpful for survival. So our default setting is actually to go to scan our environment, compare the people around us, just to suss out if there is any danger, something that we need to run away from. But now our brain has adopted these systems where we are stuck in this scarcity mentality, no matter what's going on in our life and no matter what we do. Because chances are that if you're watching this video, it means that you have a phone or you have a computer, you have a house, you are sharing the house with someone that you love, or maybe you have people that you love in your house. So you don't need to be in this state of fight and flight all the freaking time, right? So switching to a place of gratitude is actually allowing your parasympathetic system to kick in and to calm down your sympathetic system. There are many different ways that you can tap into gratitude, especially when you don't have a baby and you're missing a period. It can be more challenging than not, but there are still things that you can remind yourself of. For example, Claudia is sharing this video on YouTube absolutely for free, and that's a resource that I can tap into, which I didn't have 5 years ago, 10 years ago. There were none of these videos on the internet, and people had to do everything on their own, which was a very, very scary place to be. So you can be grateful for this video, for example, or you can be grateful because you can watch this video on your phone, or you can be grateful because you have a moment in your life when you don't have to work, where you can simply relax or go for a walk and listen to this video. And also, you may not have a period, but you have the means to really dig and understand what is going on in your body, and you have the opportunity to make changes accordingly to what your body needs. This is gratitude. This is reminding yourself that despite the fact that you're still living through a challenging situation, and despite the fact that you're still feeling pretty anxious, there is always a glimmer of hope. There is always something really good happening in your life. And let's say, for example, that you have been made redundant today, okay? Not the most exciting place where to find ourselves in, but the reality is that you have the opportunity to find another job. You have the opportunity to simply sit in the state of acceptance and be supported by someone that really understands you and love you. Maybe you can share this situation with someone that really cares. So this is being in gratitude. It doesn't mean just being stuck in a place where you're just grateful for how things are and then things are going to change by themselves. No, it's simply reminding yourself that scarcity is our default mechanism. It's where our brain goes naturally and automatically. And gratitude is something that we can welcome in, that we get to welcome in our life. So how can you implement gratitude in your life, which, trust me when I say that it can be life-changing. And I don't know if you watched the video, the live video that I did with Bettina just a couple of weeks ago, where she recovered after 6 years of not having a period and being in the thick of an eating disorder. She said that gratitude is basically what kicked off her recovery journey, and she's now a completely different person. So you can listen to guided meditations in regards to gratitude whenever you go for a walk or you grab a coffee. You can just really envision yourself being in this state of gratitude. You can simply say thanks every single time that you receive something, or you can say you're welcome, and with an open heart when you give something away. You can be grateful for having the money to pay for a coffee in the morning. You can be grateful because, once again, you can sit here and watch this video, or you can create a beautiful night routine with your partner where you sit down at dinner time and you discuss all the things that you're grateful for. So there are so many opportunities out there for you to really tap into that gratitude space, and I really would welcome you to find out what works for you and what doesn't, but just give it a go, and give it a go for more than a couple of hours, please. And also, talking about gratitude, I really would love, and I will be so grateful if you could like this video, so that many people are gonna be exposed to it, so I can help more women to recover the period. And also, I just went through my data, and crazily enough, it looks like that 85% of my videos are watched by women that are not subscribed to it. So please click the subscribe button. This is gonna allow me to stay in this place where I can share all my knowledge and pour it onto you for free. All right. Now, tips number 2 is decluttering. When I say decluttering, it could be spring cleaning. So, for example, you can decide to every single Sunday for the next 5 Sundays to get rid of all the things they don't serve you. So you can start from the bathroom, then you can move to the kitchen, and then you can move to the wardrobe, and really decide, what can I declutter, what can I get rid of that it's not supporting my recovery journey. So for example, when we look at the bathroom, could be the scale. When we look at the kitchen, can be the peanut butter powder. Just buy the freaking peanut butter, buy the real thing that is so much better than the fake one. You could, when you move to the wardrobe, you could get rid of the skinny jeans or all the things that you have been hanging on to that possibly you will never fit back into, which is absolutely fine. But it's not about only decluttering the physical things, it's also decluttering your negative emotions, your negative thoughts around what your body looks like, your ability to recover your period, your ability to get pregnant, your ability to get rid of an eating disorder or disorder behaviors around food and training. Remember that the first step is awareness, and the second step is actually allowing yourself to change how things are. So decluttering is a very powerful tool because, first of all, you engage in an action. So it doesn't look like that you're in stillness, but you're actually in motion. You're physically decluttering stuff from your house. And secondly, whenever you catch yourself having a negative thoughts, you can also decide to declutter it and replace it with something that is more helpful. An exercise that could be very helpful, and it's quite tiring for your brain, is to come up with 3 positive things about you and your life whenever you catch a negative thoughts coming into your brain. So the brain is going to get really tired of having to come up with 3 or 5 positive things every single time that you think about a negative. And after a while, it's going to send you less negative thoughts, which is exactly what we want. And that's the process of brain rewiring in a nutshell. Something else that you could definitely do that is going to be life-changing when it comes to restoring your cycle, and also making peace with what your body looks like and the relationship that you have with food, is to really understand why you're doing all of this. Because maybe you started a few months ago with the idea of getting your period back and you're losing momentum, you're losing motivation. You don't know if it's even the best thing for you to do. So I really invite you to sit down with your thoughts, sit down with a piece of paper and write down all the reasons why you want to recover, and bring that little piece of paper with you wherever you go. Or maybe you can leave it just next to your bed so you can go through it every single night before going to sleep, and you can read it in the morning when you wake up. I think that it's extremely powerful to have a reminder of where we want to go, what we want to achieve, because sometimes we lose track of where we are going, and having a piece of paper that reminds us of why we're doing what we're doing can be extremely helpful. For example, that's something that I do more frequently than not. It tends to be, here it is. I'm not going to share it for much longer than that because I don't want to share my thoughts with all of you. Not all my private thoughts, obviously. But that's something that I tend to do every month. So whenever I feel inspired or whenever I feel stuck and I need to move through some muddiness, let's say, I write down where I would like to go, how I would like to feel, and why I'm doing this. So for example, there are days where I feel very motivated in terms of putting some minor makeup on and dressing myself up to be here in front of you recording these videos. But then I go through my whys and I remember that I'm doing this because when I recover, when I went through hypothalamic amenorrhea, infertility recovery, an eating disorder recovery, and I promised myself that I was going to help as many women as I could once I recover, because I found it so incredibly tough to do it on my own, and I found it so incredibly tough when there was absolutely no help available online. And that is why I'm here every single week sharing these words with you. So once again, if you haven't done so, appreciate my effort by clicking the like button or subscribing to this channel so that I know that I can help many of you to recover, get pregnant, get the period back, and let go of the disorder behaviors around food and training. Something else that I really would like to add in when it comes to the 5 life-changing things that you can do when trying to get your period back is to take action. So we've spoken about gratitude, we've spoken about decluttering our thoughts, we've spoken about writing down a list of why you want to do the things, but ultimately you need to take action. Ultimately, you need to eat the damn breakfast. Ultimately, you need to change your exercise routine. Ultimately, you actually need to write that piece of paper where you list all your whys. And ultimately, you need to declutter your house so that you don't have that constant reminder about what you used to look like or what you thought that your body should look like. So it's, if you haven't done so, if that's the last piece that you actually need in terms of getting your period back and move forward in life, I really encourage you to take action. And maybe you can just grab the same piece of paper or another piece of paper where you wrote down your whys, and next to it write down which kind of actions you're going to take and when exactly you're going to take them, so that you're going to reach your dream goals sooner rather than later. I have so many women that come to you and say, oh, I would like to get pregnant before the end of the year, when it's November already. So we are like 2 months short toward the end of to reaching the end of the year, and they haven't even started taking action. So they have this wonderful idea, they have done all the visualization, they think that they've done all the brain retraining, and they keep telling me that the mindset it's in a really good place. They're completely committed, they've never felt that way before, but still they have not yet taken any actions. So how is that possible for you to actually recover your cycle, to get your period back, if you're still in that place of stuckness, muddiness, when it's practically impossible for your hypothalamus to switch back on so that you can really increase your luteinizing hormones, follicle stimulating hormone, thyroid stimulating hormones, get to ovulation, increase progesterone, and shed your lining, right? So take action. And if that's where you're getting stuck, if you went through the first 3 steps and you're like, yeah, I can handle it, yeah, I can do it, but when you heard me saying taking action, you froze, you had that feeling inside of you of, yes, Claudia, I get it, but how am I even going to take action? That's when it's really important for you to consider getting support and guidance and accountability, because possibly you don't know how to move through this patch in your life, and that's absolutely fine. There were moments when I started my business more than a decade ago where I didn't know what the next step was. So then I hired a financial advisor, and then I hired a business coach, and I hired a team to help me to the next level. And I'm not working with them any longer because I got to the next level, and now I'm possibly needing something else. But the message that I'm trying to share here is, don't do it on your own. You don't have to figure it out with Google and ChatGPT, because ultimately, if you need to take action and you don't know how to take the next step, ask someone to help you figure out what's the first step is going to be for you and how to make sure that you actually take it. And then last but not least, the life-changing tips that I really would encourage you to take is to test, don't guess. I get women more often than not that come to me telling me that I have hypothalamic amenorrhea when they don't, which is absolutely fine, because I'm a nutrition and dietetic clinician. I have a very holistic view in terms of hormonal health. I am trained in supporting women's health in general in a variety of ways, not only supporting hypothalamic amenorrhea, which is why sometimes it really irks me when I see all the hypothalamic amenorrhea recovery coaches that tell women simply to eat more and train less, when they don't know how to read the blood work, when they don't really need how to interpret ultrasound and so on and so forth, because they can be very helpful if hypothalamic amenorrhea is the real problem, and if the woman is actually needing some reassurance in terms of eating more and training less. But what if there is anything else applying? So I get lots of women coming to me thinking that they have hypothalamic amenorrhea when they don't. And I get lots of women that once they almost recover from hypothalamic amenorrhea, they start suffering from other symptoms that are very normally related to thyroid, autoimmune conditions, and so on and so forth. So why am I sharing this with you? Because I really, 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 really would encourage you, pretty please, from the bottom of my heart, to test, not to guess. Meaning, check your blood test. Make sure that someone go through your food diary. Make sure that you get an ultrasound. Make sure that you speak with a gyno, GP, whoever you need to. But don't just assume that you have a condition simply because you're ticking off a couple of boxes and you heard someone on the internet saying that's what you get. In my free private Facebook group, Recover from HA support group, I've decided to delete every single comment where women post the blood test results. Women got really upset in the very beginning and they were like, Claudia, why would you do it? We're just helping each other to figure things out. The amount of wrong answers that I saw on the group was just beyond me. I could not cope with it. I could not spend all my days just making sure, deleting comments from other people that thought that they were recovery coaches or other people that went through the recovery journey. We are all unique. We are all individuals. We come from a different background, and possibly we are different age. We had completely different baggage with us. So don't assume that if you had hypothalamic amenorrhea, it means that everyone out there have hypothalamic amenorrhea. Don't comment on other people's stories. Don't comment on other people's body. If you really want to do a favor to them, share this video, share my free resources, invite them to the group, but don't comment on other people's lives, because ultimately it's not going to be helpful, even though it's coming from a very helpful place. Having said that, thank you once again for being back to this channel. I'm really looking forward to see you next time. And if you want to get some guidance before the end of the year, there is just one spot left for the period comeback protocol, and it's gonna close within the next 7 days. So if you want to join us, click on the link below. And if you want to watch the replay of the masterclass, how to get your period back in 19 days without losing your sanity, once again, I'm gonna pop the link below. Thank you so much for being here, and bye for now.